Hi everybody! Today I'll teach you how to use Claude Code and how to get started on making your first app in just a couple of minutes. Let's get started. So if you've been curious about AI-assisted coding tools but felt overwhelmed by all the options out there, don't worry, this video will save your day. It is one of the easiest ways to get started using Claude Code, and it is an incredibly powerful tool for any developers or non-developers. It may seem really intimidating at first because of the terminal setup, which is why I'll teach you how to use Claude Desktop as well. What I'll cover in this video is what is Claude Code, how to set up Claude Code on your terminal and also desktop, which models you should be using, Sonet or Opus, and building your first app. So what is Claude Code? Claude Code is a command line tool from Anthropic that allows you to code, write scripts, fix bugs integrated into your existing workflow. This will allow you to write files directly on your terminal and edit files as you wish. Why do people love it? It is fully composable in a sense that you can chain it with other command line tools. You can pipe outputs and integrate it into your existing workflow. It allows you to directly edit your files, so Claude Code can read your code base, make changes, and save them. There's no copy pasting needed, and you can run files and edit files directly on your computer. It can run commands and create commits, so it's like having a junior developer sitting next to you or an AI assistant that's helping you with your current workflow. It is very simple to use, and even for non-developers, I would say it's a pretty straightforward tool that you can use. So let's get through the setup and how you can make use of all the things that are in Claude Pro. So first of all, get Claude Pro, which is at $17 a month. I will walk you through how you can get started as well. So log on to the Claude Code website. You can go to Claude Code and Product, go all the way down, and you can see this is how you can install it. And how it's going to work is that you can first register your account. So if you're already having a Claude Pro or Max 20X, you can skip this part. But if you don't, you can basically try using the cheapest model, which is the $17 a month model, and you will have access to Claude Pro and to both of their models, Sonet 4.5 and Opus 4.5, which are the latest models. Once you register your account, I will teach you ways on how you can install Claude Code. The easiest method is the native install option, which will be on your terminal. So once you launch it on your terminal, you can navigate to any project folder. Make sure that these project folders are the ones that you will allow full access for the Claude Code. And this is very, very important because you don't want to risk sharing too much information for Claude Code, and you don't want it to write or edit certain files that you don't want Claude to have access to. So be very careful with the folders that you allow access to. Once you do that, you can go to step 3 and navigate to any project folder, and you just type this code. On your first use, you'll be prompted to log in to your Claude Pro account. So follow the browser authentication. It takes 10 seconds. So this is a very important pro tip. So I'll teach you how to install Claude Code on your desktop and why I prefer the desktop option. The UI is so much friendlier, especially when you're starting out. The terminal part can be a little intimidating, but when you're using Claude Code, you can see file changes more clearly and the whole experience feels a lot smoother. So I'll walk through how you can install Claude Code. So this is the official document that you should be looking at. So it's the Claude Code docs. Go ahead to overview section and you can get started in literally 30 seconds. So prerequisites is a Claude AI account, which I mentioned before. So once you have the Claude Pro account, you can go straight to actually installing it on your terminal. In order to install the code, you should look at the native install method, which is the recommended method by Claude Code. If you have a Mac, you can install this. If you have a Windows CMD, this is what you should be clicking at. So just copy it and go to your terminal to get started. Once you install it, you can basically start using Claude Code. So you can create your own project folder on your documents file. Just create a new folder on your desktop. And then once you do that, you can leverage Claude Code to open up this folder and to ask questions or give context to this specific folder. So once you're logged in, this is what you'll see on your terminal. So go to the help section and you can always look at which commands are available. So the general part will tell you that Claude understands your code base, make edits with your permission, and execute commands right from your terminal. So you can use these shortcuts to make it easier for you. And you can also look at all the commands that are available. We will walk through this in another video because it is also very detailed on how you can set up agents, how you can manage agent configurations, how you can go on Chrome, and how you can create custom commands, which I currently don't have yet, but this is the file that allows you to see all the commands that you can use. So once you get here, we can go back to what we were trying to do earlier. You can give it this command so that it knows when to use Claude. Now that we are on this command, you can ask it to do whatever you want it to do, and we'll walk through the exact examples later on. In terms of choosing your model, you can choose between the latest models, Opus 4.5 and Sonet 4.5. The Sonet 4.5 model is very good for most tasks. So typically the default setting will lead you to using Sonet 4.5 so that you're not wasting tokens, because it uses a lot fewer tokens to run each query. The latest model, Opus 4.5, is the most powerful coding model and is very good to solve complex problems. So let's say you want to build a very detailed app, or you want to use this scripting to run very complex problems, then Opus 4.5 may be the model for you, but it uses a lot of tokens. And if you're on the Claude Pro model, you may have a lot of usage limits that may hit if you are using it too much, or if you're telling the LLM to run very, very hard problems. So either break your problems down or use the Sonet 4.5 for most of your tasks. My recommendation is start with Sonet for everyday stuff and save Opus when you're stuck on something really tricky. And this is the way that you can actually change your models on Claude Desktop directly. So after selecting your folder, you can choose the local format, which is usually the default, which means that these are all the things on your computer. So once you've selected a folder, let's say I have a tech content folder that I wanted to use, you can go to more options, you can go to model, and then use the different models depending on your use case. So some strategies to make your process much easier is that you can utilize key commands. The ones I use daily is help command, which allows you to seal commands, models, which allows you to switch between models, clear to clear conversation context and to allow the models to run much quicker so that it doesn't have to read all your context each time. The different models to see what has changed within the context that you've given it and all the things you've asked the model to run, and also the cost, which will allow you to see how many tokens you've used up already to see whether you are hitting the rate limit of the day. So going back to the terminal, we can put this into use. So this is the help command, the agent command, which we haven't gone into. You can also do the MCP command, which is all very useful and all very native to Claude, which we will get into as well. And then once you do the clear conversation, it clears the entire thing. Different to see, which different things have changed. And then the cost, once you go to cost, you can see, hey, this is the context usage, this is the system prompt, system tools, MCP tools that have been used. These are my custom agents. These are all the skills that I've given it access to. Claude also has an official documentation on this, which I will link below as well. Now I'll show you side by side how the terminal looks and how the Claude desktop looks. When you look at these two examples, which one looks more intimidating to you? To me, it's always the terminal. It is very, very good and intuitive because you can use it directly on your terminal, but what I recommend highly is to download the Claude Desktop. So for this app that we're trying to build, we're going to try to build a to-do list app, and you can obviously do very complex applications if you are more familiar with how Claude Code works. So for this video, we're just going to get familiar with the tool and to not be scared and intimidated by what it is presenting to us. Let's walk through a simple to-do list app, which will show you exactly how Claude Code works in the backend. The most important task for you in anything that you do is to describe your task and give as much context to the AI. The AI understands what to do, but normally if you give more context, the better your outcome. And also you should utilize English language always when you talk to the AI. That's where the AI can understand your context, and the more context you give it, the better the results. It will save you a lot of time in ideating down the line. Now I will tell the AI what I want to achieve in my to-do list app. I want to create a simple to-do list manager app with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I want to be able to create a new folder called to-do list. So this is the folder that the AI will create on your desktop. I want to add new tasks. I want to mark tasks as complete, delete tasks, and tasks should persist in the local storage, which is in my computer. I want to make this look clean and modern, and I will teach you later on as to how to use Claude skills, which will make your front end look much less like an AI and more clean, more stylish, and you can, be more creative with what the output is. For now, we are going to do everything on the Claude desktop, which is the version that I prefer because it's less intimidating for me. So once I have the to-do list folder created on my desktop, I can now chat with Claude to ask it to do all the things that I want it to do. So let me paste the tasks that I'm posing. So create a simple to-do list manager app, and I want to use the Opus model, which is the latest one. This is the more expensive model, but I think for the tasks that I'm doing, I wanted to use the Opus model instead of the Sonet model. So you can see here that Claude will keep prompting you to allow them to run different tasks. So if, let's say, they have access to this very small folder of mine, I don't mind allowing it for all sessions. But if you are, working on a very complex task and you don't want it to have access to every single thing you're doing, in terms of, letting it run autonomously, you can just allow it once. But for me, I will just allow it for this session. Now we can see here that Claude is writing this index HTML, which is the first task that I've asked Claude to do. You can see exactly what Claude is doing. So it's creating a HTML doc type to define the task and to also initialize what exactly I was asking it to do, which is the to-do list app. And then it's also creating a CSS file which will set up the UI for me. So you can see exactly what is happening in the backend. So it's setting up a H1, a container, the body, task input, and whatnot. So it's very cool that it's doing it so quickly. And then it's also creating a script, JavaScript, which is within the to-do list folder as mentioned. So now the AI took just a couple of seconds to build this clean, modern to-do list app in my to-do list folder, which is what I've told it to create with 3 files. So the feature is add task, type in the input field and press enter or click add, mark as completed once it's done, delete task, local storage, make sure that this is just within my browser sessions, and to clear once it's completed. Design highlights as such, and then to use it, you can simply open to do and list index in my browser. Let's take a look at the results so far. In just less than 1 minute, Claude has created this to-do list app. Obviously, it's just a prototype and it's quite simple at its current form, but the way that it's able to plan and organize and initiate everything in just a couple of seconds and minutes is very impressive. So this is my current to-do list app. It's not the way I want it at all, but it is to a level that can make me prompt better updates and to keep developing this site. So let's take a look. My to-do list site, it has everything that I wanted. Add new tasks. So very simply, I want to do research. I want to film my YouTube video. And I want to work out. So as simply as you can do this, workout. As simply as you can do this, these are the things that I want to do, and it also has a little bit of animation, which actually makes the whole thing pop up a little better. So what you can do here is that you can also tick it once you're done, and then also clear completed once I finish all my tasks, which is working very well, and it is exactly what I told the AI I wanted. Clicking on the CLI as well, it allows you to see all the context that you've given the AI and also what the AI model has done so far. So it's created a to-do list app. It's also added all the features that is available for the app so far, and it also tells you the design highlights. So there's a purple gradient background with a white card container, smooth hovering animations and transitions as we've seen. There's circular checkboxes with gradient fills when completed. There's also a very responsive layout that works on mobile. So these are all the key points from this design highlights that they have. And the next step I want to do is, this looks great. However, can you suggest a list of improvements that we can do for the website? So what this will do is that it will start planning to see what else is lacking in this current app and what we can push forward as the next iteration. So a good tip and trick is that once you have the initial prototype, you can ask it to do all the changes and to make changes as you wish. So now it will tell you a list of changes. Here's a list of improvements we could make in terms of functionality, in terms of user experience, data and syncing. So if you need to publish this application, it might be good to import different tasks from files, sync across devices, and to make this process a lot easier for your users. But this really depends on whether you're using this internally or whether you want to publish this later on. And then it also tells you a list of visual enhancements, which is always good, and organization as well. So once you confirm which of these that you want the AI to do, it will start with prompting all the changes and implementation as we've seen earlier. I hope you found this video helpful. This should give you a very good overview of how to get started using Claude Code. And in the next video, I'll teach you how to create multi-agents, agents that can help you run different tasks while you're doing other things in your life. And secondly, I will teach you how to install and use Claude skills to level up your front-end designs or your apps or anything you're building.